you go to graphic design school, you come out making about $50,000. And I was doing, 4 times as much as that.
Have you ever wondered how to make $1 million with social media?
I've made a lot more money than most designers.
Meet Carina Gardner, who quit her successful university lecturing career to pursue design and now teaches other designers to monetize their passion.
As a university professor, I started to realize that we aren't teaching our graphic design students, art students, how to make money. We only teach them how to make art.
I'm Matt Bellman, and this is $1 Million Creators, where you can learn how to become $1 million creator yourself.
Design Bootcamp is interesting because it's a 5-day workshop, and I tell them exactly how I made money.
Welcome Carina Gardner to the show. Carina has a PhD and taught design at the University of Minnesota and the Arts Institute before starting her design business. Since then, her designs have been on jewelry, prints, clocks, and holiday products. Carina is also the CEO of Design Suite, a program that teaches designers how to make money. Her podcast teaches aspiring designers how to make the transition from crafter and hobbies to profitable designer. Carina, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
100%. Let's take it away with, what's your mission on this planet?
Oh, our mission is to make everything more beautiful. In particular, on the crafting and fabric side, like any of our physical goods, we would like this to be a much more beautiful space, and we would love to see more niches in the spaces really being planned out and created.
Lovely. What inflection point made you start your business then?
Well, so I have been a designer now for 20 plus years. I've owned a design business for 16 years, and I love being a designer. And I've made a lot more money than most designers in an individual business situation. So when I left school, and now today, if you go to graphic design school, you come out making about $50,000. And I was doing, 4 times as much as that. And so I was getting a lot of people asking, how are you making so much money as a designer? And I realized that most people didn't realize that there's a real way to do this. It's very easy. And I was really concerned because as a university professor, I started to realize that we aren't teaching our young design students, graphic design students, art students, how to make money. We only teach them how to make art. It's such a problem because they come out of school and then they don't use their art. They don't use their degrees. They just go work in-house somewhere doing, human resources or whatever else they can find. So I really thought if we could change up the system a little bit and teach our artists how to make money instead of just making art, then they would have a chance at living what they really wanted to live, which is a fulfilled life doing and creating art.
Yes, I love that. And before we go into more detail here, just before, what did you do in your previous life?
In my previous life? Oh, I've always been a designer. So I have, well, now they're older kids, but I had small children. So I finished I did a marketing degree in my undergraduate degree. So my bachelor's, and then my master's degree and my PhD are both in design. So as a freelance designer, I was doing crafting design when I started the business 16 years ago. And yeah, so I have always been in design, which seems a little bit crazy, but I will say I never thought of myself as an illustrator or even actually a creative. There's a reason my bachelor's degree is in marketing, is because I, like everybody else, thought I wasn't that creative and I don't know how to draw that well. So software has changed that for us, right? Anyone who is willing to learn the software can actually learn how to design and how to draw.
Yes. Okay, then let's fast forward to talk about today. If I were a client of yours that want to make more money, let's say, on the design side, what's the core offer that I'm buying?
So we have several tiers, but our main thing is Design Suite. So Design Suite is the name came about because I started with 8 courses. There are now 17 courses in it. We're in the middle of refilming every course because most of them are set up like digital courses, and we're making a change. Now everything is being set up in 15-week semester-long coursework because we eventually will be working towards accreditation. It just makes a lot of sense for where we're headed and what we're able to teach. So our main one that everybody wants to be part of is Design Suite Mastermind. It's a 1-year program, weekly meetings, of course, all the coursework, get-togethers. We do digital online communities. It's pretty amazing. We built the whole thing for the members. So when we started this particular program 3 years ago, it was fantastic because the members just told me what they wanted. And we just did it. We did everything that they wanted us to do, and it turned into the program it is today. I just thought I was teaching design. They were all like, "We would love to see each other." I was like, "What? What do you want to do?" And they're like, "We'd like to see each other, Karina." And I was just like, "Okay." So I was like, "Do you want to have meetings together?" And they're like, "Yeah." So then we started letting them all have meetings together, and we put them into these different squads. In fact, we let them choose the name of it. So a lot of our names and stuff are made up by members. Like members were like, "We would like to do this thing." And I'm like, "Okay, okay, cool. Let's do it. What challenge
Nice.
do you want to do?" And they would name it. So we've been really good at community building. People should leave our program with some friends or at least the ability to reach out to other Design Suite members because we find that the network actually helps people get more jobs.
Yes, that makes sense. So you're coming from on-demand courses, you're moving towards cohort-based systems where people go through a one-year program together with a certification in the end. For that reason, higher perceived value. People can study along, join in meetings, and therefore the community, the classes, or the cohorts are having even more, getting even more value out of this. Is that correct?
Yes, and it's better too because we really are set up a little bit like a university system in that one of the problems with DIY courses for designers is that you get no feedback. Well, how do you get better if you don't have any feedback back on your design work? So, we have a whole submission process. People can submit as often as they want. They get a 72-hour response via voice, like a video. So it's not like they just get like, here's what you need to do. It's like they get usually a 5 to 20 minute video back from a design coach or myself telling them and looking at their file and changing it and being like, you need to move this here. You need this color changed. You need to, I think this typography is not working. Let's move this. Let's change the cap. So it's like the actual thing that we used to do, or I used to do at a university when I'm sitting in a classroom with 20 kids, but it's now happening on an individual basis and an on demand manner.
Strong, strong. I love that. If I were to interview some of your clients, what specific value in your offering would they rave most about?
Community. My people, they love being together. In fact, we struggle to get rid of people. People will stay forever and ever. They're like, "How do I stay after the year? What can I do to like," because they love being together. It's been fascinating to watch. There are subgroups that have been created. So people will get together and be like, "We're working on jewelry over here and we're working on this over here and we're working on marketing over here." So we don't supplement those. Those are just they kind of happen naturally and organically. We have lots of groups have become best friends. They get together for yearly vacations together. It's pretty
Wow.
incredible. Our main demographic is 40 to 65-year-old women. These are encore careers for them. And they love getting together. They love community. They like being together. They like being friends.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Um, Maybe also to understand better on the price points, low to high. How does it work? Where does it start? Where does it end?
So our lowest price point is $1,000. And that's our foundational courses. Our highest price points, which we don't even let people in unless they show a certain amount of capacity, is up at 30,000. So those are
Nice.
our elite programs.
Nice, that makes sense. That is then for an annual. It's not recurring, but it's for an annual thing. And if they want to go on, then they can buy the next thing. You have 17 offers, and then they
Yeah.
can buy into the next
And
one. Okay.
it's stepping stoned, right? So like think about if you take a semester of coursework, you don't repay for that semester of coursework. So we don't like if you buy $1,000 foundation set of 4 courses, when you step up to the next level, it's less, right? Versus just going into that next level. So we like that because it's really helpful. Some people simply should not go into the mid level. First of all, we need them in foundational courses so they understand the design work and what needs to happen. So we're kind of stepping them into the right place for them.
Clear. Real quick, what tools do you use to deliver that value to your students?
In terms of software,
Yes.
yeah. So we are mostly in Kajabi. We have been in Passion.io, and we are in. I think that's it. We're mostly hanging out in Kajabi these days. Shopify. So
Yeah, makes sense. Take me on a timeline. When did you launch the business as is today?
We are not 3 years old yet. So
Wow.
April of 2021 is when we launched Design Suite. So it has been an incredible journey. I had no idea that the need was so desperate for something like this. We have grown, we're a multi-million dollar company, is what I'll say. We grew so incredibly fast.
Wow. It's a good segue to talk about success, which is the next section. So, how many paying customers do you have today in a typical month?
In a typical month, we're really only bringing in 20 to 40 people. We're very careful about who comes in. We have an admissions team, and we want to make sure they're coming into the right spot. So we're a little different than most companies. You know, some companies are just like they will take anyone and everyone. We are not that company. We want the right people. And sometimes people are surprised by that, but the reason we're careful is because we have to deliver results. We want to deliver results. And if you are not in a place where you can spend the time this next year and think of it as college, then you probably are not a great fit for what we do.
If you think the creator economy is really interesting, then I got something for you. On milliondollarcreators.club, we actually created a database of all the creators out there, and you see not just their fans, followers, subscribers, but actually how much money are they making. So with that, we bring now transparency into the creator economy, and you really see how are the best of the best get their customers, price their offers, create their offer stack, get customers, which tools are they using, how will they grow and triple their business going forward. So if that's interesting for you, including lists of who makes the most revenue, who has the fastest revenue growth, who has the biggest audience, who has the fastest growing audience, who makes the most revenue per follower, and who has the most exciting offer stack from low end all the way to the high end, then go to milliondollarcreators.club and enjoy the data. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let me make a wild guess. 30 people on average per month. Price point 1K to 30K. So let's take 10K, a little bit not on the average, but slightly less than that. That's 300 a month.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. We get because we're still a newer program. So a little bit less than that, but not by much.
Okay,
So really because we have so many people that we really encourage to do the $1,000 and $5,000 price points first.
nice. Okay, so if it's 5,000, it's 150 to 200, 200-ish
Yeah,
times
a little
12.
bit, little bit more than that, but yeah.
Okay, so let's say 250 times 12 would be three, like it's the 3 million business right now on an annual level.
That's about where we're at. Maybe scaling. We're in the middle of building teams out, right? So year 3 is all about SOPs. So we understand what needs to happen. So now we're just building out the teams. So we've been doing a lot of what we've been doing with not a lot of people, which has been kind of crazy. So we're
Wow.
kind of just barely building out the teams. We have we just hired 4 people on Thursday. So I think we're right up to, I know, like 16 or 17 people at this point.
Interesting. And out of the 16, likely, I don't know, the majority are design
No,
teachers? No?
no. We have the admissions team, so that is a pretty growing team. We have a marketing and advertising team, and then we have the design suite coaching team, and then operations.
Yeah, okay. That's clear now. Hey, before we go into OpEx or expenditures, one more thing, like to understand growth compared to a year ago, where were you a year ago
We
compared to
didn't
today?
have a single team a year ago.
Okay.
We have 4 teams now, and we're trying to build out a 5th one. A year ago, we literally were still like I had people working, but we're taping this in February. In April is when we built the design suite team. So the coaching team came first.
So you were pre-revenue like a year ago?
Oh, we had plenty of revenue a year ago. Yeah. But it was just me. We were just doing it based on what I
Okay.
was doing. So, but of course, running myself ragged, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
it was all me. I had probably 7 to 8 people working, but they were a lot of assistants, right? So we had a lot of VAs and people just kind of helping out in different areas. So, yeah, no coaching. It was all me.
Clear. Is it correct then that not just the team doubled, also revenue, you would say? Like both actually doubled then in this one
Yeah.
year?
Yeah.
Mm,
We've
that makes
doubled
sense.
every year that we've done this. Yeah.
One more question before we go into more on the expenditure side. This highest price point that you have, right? How much percent of your overall revenue is that? The 30K one, is that like 10%? Not so relevant yet, or is it actually 50%?
You're talking about our main offer of Design Suite Mastermind?
The highest price one,
Oh,
the top
the
offer.
elite is a very small percentage. We're probably only at 5% because we only introduced that offer last fall. So it's only a 6-month-old offer.
That makes sense. Okay, one more thing before we move off into actually customer acquisition, because we're already in the expenditure section. Um, what are the biggest items in the P&L on the cost side? So I guess this is then payroll, very likely.
Surprisingly, it's payroll, and I would say the other one is Facebook ads. So we spend upward of, well, every month it's changing. We're probably at 55,000 a month in Facebook ads at the moment. We are going to be up at about 100,000 pretty soon here.
Yeah, that's a good segue to talk about lead generation. So, how do you get eyeballs awareness? Let's say it's paid and it's organic. What's the share here? And I don't know, how do you get eyeballs?
I think initially Facebook ads for sure is like, I would say probably 70%.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of community building type things. For example, we do 4 summits every year, and those are we do totally for free, absolutely for free. So that will bring in, anywhere from 1,000 to 2,500 brand new leads at any given time. Whether they're all qualified or not, of course, is something that's always up for review. But I will say that we're just as much about giving back to the community as they are, coming into our coursework, et cetera. So, I came out with a book just a month ago and a book the previous year. And honestly, I tell all my secrets. So it's like we tell everybody what you can do if you just want to do it yourself. And we find that we just give as much value as possible so that designers and creatives can build their own businesses.
Yeah, put the best content out there
Hmm.
for free. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, the free summits are virtual. People come in, they sign up, and then I don't know, it's like a day of really good content. In the end, there's an offer where they can then decide to join.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
We don't actually usually offer, and we're a little bit different. We don't really offer people to come directly into Design Suite. We like to educate them first. So we actually like people to come to a design boot camp. So that's where we send people first. Design boot camp is interesting because it's a 5-day workshop, 1 hour long each, and I tell them exactly how I made money. I give them strategies. I tell them exactly what they need to do. And then I do give them an offer. I say, if you would like to come in to do this with us for an entire year, then this is what this would look like. However, here's all the information. You can try doing it on your own. The difference is that, of course, it's really hard to do on your own. Doesn't mean it's impossible. I know designers who can do it. We've seen design boot campers. They'll tag us on Instagram and say, I went to Karina's design boot camp. I'm not joining Design Suite yet. And I literally did what she told me to do. And then I posted the next day and like I made a sale the very next day. And I'm like, isn't that amazing? Like you can do what we tell you to do. Mostly people come into the program because they want actual critique of their artwork so that we make sure that they up level and they become the best in the industry, as well as network, because all the good jobs get, is word of mouth at this time.
That makes total sense. Um, just real quick, what has been your secret then to grow and convert your audience?
I think the real secret to anything is just telling the truth and being authentic. Right now you see marketing offers that they're just big old offers. And I'm always like, I don't know if anyone can make that happen. Our designers know we will tell them this is a design degree and this will take you 3 years because businesses take a while to build. And even though this last business for me has built multi-million very quickly, I've had 5 other businesses that took 3 to 4 or 5 years to build to actually make any kind of income. So at the end of the day, we're just really honest about what you're going to get and how you're going to do it. Most of our designers usually make their first sale in the first 12 to 15 weeks because of the system we've got set up. But we tell them do not expect to make money in the first year. You're learning, you're growing, and you're building. And we're just I just really brutally honest to a fault, which is maybe why we haven't grown even faster.
Before we continue, there's one favor I would like to ask. If you enjoy what we do here and you enjoy the guests that we bring, please join Million Dollar Creators by hitting the subscribe button. And if you do, I'll make you a deal. I do everything in my power to make this show bigger and better for you. Do we have a deal? Enjoy the show. Clear. Let's talk about the future then. Again, a good segue. Can you triple the business in the next 12 months?
I don't think we can, not the way we're going. Not if I want to keep it clean, because there's a certain amount of chaos and messiness that happens when you build as fast as we've built. Could it triple? There's actually a very good chance we will if I'm not careful about it. We're trying to get all of our standard operating procedures in order, all our systems in order at the same time as increasing sales. So if we only double, that would be preferable in my mind, because that means we'd have to hire so many more design coaches, have so many more trainings involved. And I'm personally probably not ready for that.
Clear. What strategy or tactic will actually get you then to double the business in the next 12 months?
For us right now, it's just working our leads. So I thought we had a lead problem last September. So I really upped and figured out kind of all the lead stuff we had going on. Come around January, we had 2,500 leads who hadn't even been touched yet. We looked at the major overhaul. We moved into some new software and realized we have about 15,000 leads that we really needed to work with. So it's really a people problem at this point. So we've been hiring more enrollment specialists and more admission specialists to work through all the people to make sure that we're getting the right people in. So for us, it's just manpower at this point. That's why I told you we just hired 4 more people.
Yeah.
So that's why we could technically triple, maybe even quadruple. It's just literally getting the manpower in place.
Clear. Real quick, biggest potential channel to drive that massive growth? Like who you're saying, like you're bottlenecked by people, right? Like who's that next hire that will actually make all the difference?
Well, we just hired 4 enrollment specialists. So basically setters, like people who are reaching out and getting the people, figuring out if they're lost or if they're right, and then moving them on to our admission specialists. So that's kind of our bottle cap right at the moment. The second thing that's a really interesting thing is we've only really played into one market. We're really into women between the ages of 40 and 65 who are looking for their encore career or retirement career. That's really different than the college segment, the 18 to 24-year-olds who are looking how to run businesses as well, which is why you'll see in the future us working towards accreditation, because that's still important to that demographic.
Clear. Real quick before we move on, biggest thing holding you back personally right now?
Time.
Yeah, I thought so.
I'm actually reading the book Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell right now. And a lot of the stuff in it I do, but I could do much, much better. So making good use of my time, working on my business, not in my business. I think that's always a struggle when you grow as fast as I have grown.
I just bought the same book.
You did?
Yeah. I was at the Tony Robbins State of Destiny and he spoke there and was like, yeah, let's buy the book. Anyways, next section is called Favorite 5. It's a fast-paced section. You can answer in one word. What's your favorite business book?
Oh, that is so hard. The One Thing.
The One Thing. Okay. What's your favorite way to get inspiration or to learn and grow?
Oh, definitely audiobooks, but no. We're going to go with museums. I bet you never get that answer. I love a great museum.
Okay, fair enough. What's your favorite person that you're studying, your role model?
That one I really don't have an answer for.
That's fine. What's your favorite online tool for building your company?
Right now, Go High Level.
Go High Level. Okay. Biggest thing on your mind?
How to build my leadership team.
Personal section. How many hours do you work per week?
Right now, a horrible 50 to 60 hours a week.
55. What's the situation? Married, single, any kids?
Husband, 3 kids, a dog, and 2 cats.
Ooh, lovely. And what's your age?
I'm 44.
Lovely. Final question. We also want to give some advice to the audience. If you could go back in time, have a conversation with your 20-year-old self, what's the piece of advice, the best piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
It is all going to work out, Karina.
Don't
It is
stress
all
out.
going to work out. Everybody,
Okay.
I think you stress your whole life. You don't know if it's really going to work out, but it does. It totally works out.
Love it. That is Carina Gardner. Carina has a PhD and taught design at the University of Minnesota. She then also went into business, has her own design academy or institute today, where she's actually built a really good 7-figure business. She doubled every year. She builds in a cohort way where the students get feedback. That's what's really important to them, that they know how they can level up their design. The team is growing now as well, as also doubling to make sure that really the customers get the value, and Carina's not just like growing the business blindly, but actually considered so that she can deliver on the SOPs that she set for herself in order to deliver a great product. She is supercharging her growth through Facebook ads as well, which is currently at 50K a month, but can go up to 100K soon. Her audience is still quite small compared for the 7 figures that she does, which is amazing. So her revenue per follower is extremely good. She loves the one thing as a book. She's strongly investing in a business, so she's working hard, but it's paying off. Thank you so much for sharing your passion, taking us to the next level, Carina.
You're so welcome.
That was Carina Gardner. You learned the power of monetizing talents and interests. So how can you unlock the next level in your business?